If you had one moment, one opportunity, one shot to make a lasting impact or to change your life, would you take it? If the day you had been waiting for your entire life arrived on the doorstep of opportunity, would you practice carpe diem and snatch it from the air? Or would you watch it disappear like a shooting star in the night? In the words of the great pioneer, Madam C.J. Walker, don't wait for opportunities to knock on your door. Go out and make your own opportunities. Seizing your opportunities is the initial step in identifying the gift and potential that lies inside of you and carving out your future path. Since I was a young child, I have been told that I had a gift for public speaking, that my delivery and presentation was extraordinary, and I should take every opportunity to hone my craft. Although I enjoyed public speaking, I oftentimes waited for others to ask me to speak, rather than stepping forward to utilize my gift, thus waiting for opportunities to present themselves rather than making my own. I recall when I received the invitation to speak at the annual Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast, sponsored by the Morgan State University, as the Catch a Rising Star youth speaker. Although I was only 10 years old at the time and had such trepidation about this honor, I decided, even at my young age, to seize this opportunity and not allow it to pass me by. I was nominated for this speaking honor by my church family based on my numerous speaking engagements at the church. I realized that by volunteering to speak at my church, I was seizing the day to fulfill my gift and not waiting for it to just fall into my lap. I was, in essence, making my own opportunity to carve out my future path. The keynote speaker was so impressed with my gift that he wanted to invest in my future and presented me with a substantial monetary award. Had I hesitated and not taken the initiative to seize this opportunity, I would have missed this moment. I would have not created my own destiny. As I embark on my high school career, I will hold Madam C.J. Walker's quote close to my heart and rely on her words as I blaze my own path, creating my own trail. I will continue to stand firmly on my faith and believe that if I ask, it shall be given. If I knock, the door shall be opened. So my question for you is this: if you had one moment, one opportunity, one shot to make a lasting impact or to change your life, would you take it? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joe Christ. I go to Mount St. Joseph High School in Baltimore, and I will be presenting my speech to you. Today, flip these around for you. All right, change is inevitable, and yet still so feared. Without it, all of our tomorrows will be the same, and a quality that is so indispensable to being human will be lost. After all, humans are the most incredible change makers. And if a difference is made, it's undoubtedly because of a change somebody made. Icons whose names bring with them a legacy, all owe their notoriety to a change they made. Frederick Douglass went from an illiterate slave to not only a free man, but also an author and prominent abolitionist. He made a change that once seemed impossible. Malcolm X became a man of faith and authority while in prison. He made a change when it once seemed impossible. While standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave a prophetic speech about the future of race in America to an audience of nearly 250,000 people. He made a change where it once seemed impossible. It is overwhelmingly clear, then, that Charles W. Chestnut was right. Impossibilities are merely things of which we have not learned or which we do not wish to happen. Personal liberty was only impossible until Frederick Douglass learned that it did not have to be the way that it was. It was only impossible for a black man to read until he made a change within himself and began his journey. Today, people are mentally imprisoned by what they view as impossible. No person is too small nor act too minuscule to be worth something in the pursuit of real change. Malcolm X, through his words and actions, set an expectation of personal ownership and honesty for not only himself, but also the millions that his story has reached. His is a story of self-determinism and the benefits that come with knowing oneself and the potential stored within. He understood the value of self-investment and was able to reap the compounding output that go along with it. As John E. Lewis began, "If not us, then who? If not now, then when?" Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would continue, "If not here, then where?" Congruent with his belief that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, Dr. King would argue that there is no perfect place to begin something new. Despite all of the work of pioneers and visionaries, there still isn't a perfect time, place, or way to make a change. All that has ever mattered was that it happened. If the butterfly effect can work in the past, why can it not work for our future? What small change can be made today that will alter not only the future of one, but the future of many? What is impossible today that will be done tomorrow? What is impossible today that you will do tomorrow? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Charan Bala, and I'm a 10th grader at River Hill High School. Education is often synonymous with schooling, but it's much more than that. Education is learning more about the world around you. I believe that education can not only help us discover ourselves, but it can allow us to help others. Today, we live in a world of distraction. It's become nearly impossible to live a meaningful life when we have the instant gratifications of endless scrolling, seconds-long videos, and constant buzzing notifications. I believe that we've all become way too consumed with our digital content that we've completely lost touch with who we are. George Washington Carver once said, "Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom." By educating ourselves, and especially reading, we can all become much more in tune with ourselves. The way I see it, our addiction to modern technology has caused us all to become confined to its grasp. But by understanding more about the world and ourselves, we can free ourselves and live a much happier life. Now, let me explain how education can allow us to help others as well. Many of us around the world live in ignorance, whether we know it or not. When we don't learn about other people's struggles, we allow them to keep struggling. We allow them to keep getting hurt. You see, indifference produces the exact same outcome as actively hurting because both continue the plight of the other person. But by educating ourselves on other people's struggles, we can break through that door of indifference that prevents us from helping them. By staying uneducated, however, we force those people struggling to be confined to that very struggle. So, education can not only help us break through our own door of indifference, but it can also open and unlock the door, the golden door of freedom for those being oppressed and suppressed. Oftentimes, however, exposing ourselves to new cultures and new information can be very uncomfortable. However, for us to be more empathetic, it is quite necessary. So, my message to all of you is to learn about other people's problems, read about their struggles, ask them and inquire about their issues so that you can help them. Because by not knowing, you are not helping. Thank you.
It's not that easy to shake it off. My name's Elon Raya, and I'm a junior at Catonsville High School, and I'll be presenting to you my speech titled Freed Like the Birds. An enslaved man plows on a field. The scorching sun, blazing at its highest and at its strongest, presses on him like the yoke he sees on the plowing oxen. His salty sweat drips from his brows down onto his cracked and open feet. Taking off his dusty and patchy straw hat, he looks up at the sky, where a flock of birds flies in the distance. He doesn't know where they go or where they come from. He doesn't know the world outside. He doesn't know about the majestic plains that the birds fly across. And he doesn't know the golden sands of the east coast that they soar above. He stares at them, bound to his plow. George Washington Carver, an African-American scientist, said that education is the key to unlocking the golden gate of freedom. But what does he mean? Education is the tool by which we understand the realities of the world around us. An educated person understands themselves and their surroundings. They know what opportunities and risks lie in their path, and their imaginations are active to question and create. Before the abolishment of slavery, African Americans were deprived of any form of education by their slave masters. Is it because it would make them unproductive? No. Well, Frederick Douglass put it as this: if you rob a man of his ability to learn, you've enslaved him. When people are deprived of education, they have little to imagine, create, and hope for. Its absence leaves the mind oblivious to its bondage and ignorant and incapable of creating, imagining, and hoping. An idle mind makes an ignorant person, and an ignorant person cannot be free. Do you see the cycle? It is only when small whispers give an enslaved woman knowledge of the free North that she can seek the path to freedom. It is only when oppressed people learn the ideologies of democracy that they can rise against their oppressors. Well, my grandfather told me, learning will make you whole. But I wasn't one to sit down and enjoy books, so I never really listened to him. His long lectures on the living room couch, sitting on the edge of the sofa with his 1,000-pager book in his hand, he would pour this life lesson to me. Why he consistently encouraged me, I didn't know until recently. He grew up the son of a farmer in the undeveloped countryside of Ethiopia. And he built a loving home and noble reputation through the help of God and his family. He knows that his relentless devotion to study helped him become a doctor and provide for his family. In the pages of many books and through countless hours of learning, he found the tools he needed to break free from the shackles of poverty, fear, and ignorance. This cloud of witnesses surrounds us, tells us that education is our most potent weapon against the oppression of the mind and body. So, what is left for us to do? Let's grab a book. Let's learn a new skill. Let's create things. Let's explore the world around us. By any means, let's educate ourselves. Thank you.
By measurable statistics, I am not meant to succeed. Some claim that life is a game of chance, but its tricks and traps cause some to rise and others to fall. The luck of the draw dictates my hand, preventing the intelligence card, the degree card, and the high income card from being dealt to me. These crude probabilities weigh my heart down as my hand holding a losing deal begins to falter. My poor outlook soon becomes exasperated by the cards I, an African woman, should be dealt. The husband card, the child card, the poverty card, and the inferior card. My attempts in vain as my golden airtight door seals shut. As a Black woman, the preferred characteristics for my carefully constructed identity are constantly decimated by those that are expected to be appropriated. when the crumpling weight of these odds flattened my mangled personality like a punch press, a realization hits me. The only thing that allows me to reconstruct myself is what I can control, my education. As I advance in knowledge, my winning chances increase, and my golden airtight door can slowly nudge open. When looking at what's seen as success stories, we often examine those who've made a name for themselves in the history books, such as Mary McLeod Bethune. By creating schools for Black children, not only was she able to educate herself, but others as well. However, it's also important to examine those whose pages in history were never discovered. My grandmother, Flamatu Touré, was a radiant Medincan woman. Her robust build resulting from the trying days on the rice farm showcased how painstakingly diligent she was. During her game, a tough hand was given. Married at 14, a mother of 7, and illiterate. Her golden door was shackled by the disadvantageous rules put in place. But that wouldn't stop her. Her hands grew coarser through the threshing and cleaning, her back sore from the hall fielding and drying. In the name of love, the name of knowledge, she gathered enough funds to educate all 7 children, increasing their winning chances. And as each child drew a degree card, a stiff chain rusted. A generation later, I contain quite the adequate hand. The literacy card, the intelligence card, and soon the diploma card will be added to my arsenal. But none of these would have even grazed me if it weren't for those who came before me. Whilst Bethune and my grandmother couldn't reach their full potential due to the unfair laws restricting them, their hard work allows others to have the opportunity to do so. Their contributions create pathways for them, and chances increase. The door becomes lighter, shackles are lifted, and greatness is achieved. As the winds pile up, the odds will soon be in our favor. And what was once a door will turn into a walkway. The golden rays will shine on our faces, and a game of chance will be a game of gain. Thank you.